In today's lecture, we'll talk about the colligative properties, and the first property I'll take, that is the relative lowering of vapor pressure.
Now we'll talk about colligative properties. First of all, we'll learn what are colligative properties. The properties which depends on number of particles and not on its nature. Okay, so the properties which depends on the number of the particles and not on the nature of the particle. Such properties, they are called colligative properties. Okay, now nature of this number of the particles, we can say number of particles of solute. Number of particles of solute and not on its nature. Such properties, they are called what? Colligative properties. Fine, children. Now, when we talk about these properties, these solutes can be non-volatile. Non-volatile solutes are one which neither dissociates nor associates. Suppose I take example of glucose, cane sugar, urea. These are the examples of solute which are non-volatile. Now, when I talk about some solutes like NaCl, KCl, K2SO4, these are type of electrolytes which dissociates. Okay, so when they dissociates, this 1 mole of NaCl will result in the formation of 1 mole of Na positive ion and 1 mole of Cl minus ion when it is dissolved in water. So from 1 mole, how many number of particles we are getting? 2 moles. From 1 mole, we are getting 2 moles. Okay, so such cases, the solute is getting dissociated. The third type of category of the solute are those which gets associated. Now, these associated solutes, what some like, suppose we take example of acids. When they are dissolved in non-polar solvents, remember children, when they are dissolved in which solvent? Non-polar. You can't dissolve them in the water. If you'll dissolve, they will also dissociate. We have read in the 11th standard. So in the non-polar solvent, they gets dimerized. How they dimerize? See? C double bond O, OH. Now the other molecule, C double bond O, this will form hydrogen bond. This OH will form hydrogen bond, and here it is CH3. So from the 2 molecule we are getting 1 molecule, means it is getting associated. Okay, so on the basis, so from the 2 moles we are getting how many moles here? 1 mole. In such cases, what will happen that these solutes, on the basis of the number of the particle, these properties are depending. So first of all, we'll talk about all the colligative properties in which we will take the non-volatile solute. Okay, so for again I'm saying the definition, the properties which depends upon the number of the particles of the solute and not on its nature, such properties are called colligative properties. Number of particles of solute, what does it mean? A non-volatile solute neither associate nor dissociate. It remains. If I take 1 mole of glucose, then after adding water in it, it will remain 1 mole only. Okay, some are undergoing dissociation like the electrolytes. All these strong electrolytes, they easily get dissociated. So this category, we take the example of all the type of the electrolytes, acids and bases. Associated, generally acids, organic acids and even phenol, they gets associated when it is dissolved in the non-polar solvent. From the two we are getting one molecule. Okay, so this is called what? Association. So I am now taking first colligative property, and that colligative property is relative lowering in vapor pressure. So the first property is called relative lowering in vapor pressure. Okay, it is also called as RLVP. In short, it is called RLVP. Now, relative lowering in vapor pressure. In the Raoult's law, we have already read that when to a pure solvent, a non-volatile solute is added. So, what will happen? There is lowering in the vapor pressure because the solute molecules also come on the top surface. So, there is a relative lowering in the vapor pressure. Okay. So, this lowering in the vapor pressure for the non-volatile solute, Raoult's gave an expression which we have read in the previous section. P1 is equal to P1 naught into X1. This we have already read in the Raoult's law. Okay, so we can write, we know that P1 is nothing but equal to what? P1 naught into X1. Now, the reduction in the vapor pressure, is given by delta P1. Okay, so I can say this delta P1 is nothing but what? Pure solvent is having more vapor pressure. So pure solvent, I said it is always what? P1 naught minus what will happen in the solute? It becomes P1. So I am writing here P1. So this delta P1, which is the reduction in the vapor pressure, it is nothing but what? P1 naught minus P1. Okay. Now putting the value from the equation 1, what you will get? I am writing here, putting the value from equation 1, delta P1 is equal to P1 naught minus P1 naught into X1. If I simplify it, I can write P1 naught common 1 minus X1. Okay, now we also know that X1 plus X2 is nothing but equal to what? X1 minus X1 plus X2 is equal to 1, or X2 is equal to 1 minus X1. Okay, so putting the value of 1 minus X1 as X2 here, I'll get P1 naught into X2. Okay, and this is nothing but equal to what? Delta P1. Okay, now if I take this P1 this side, and I'll write this P1 as what? P1 naught minus P1. See my equation? P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught. This P1 naught I put from this side. Okay, is it nothing but equal to what? X2. So now see, in this equation, there we are relating this lowering in the vapor pressure delta P1 in respect to what? P1 naught. Therefore, this equation is nothing but relative lowering in the vapor pressure. Hope this equation is clear. Again, I'll repeat. This equation is called relative lowering in vapor pressure because now this change in the vapor pressure is related to the pure pressure. Okay, so therefore it is called relative lowering in the vapor pressure. Now I can also write P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught is equal to, I can, this X2 I can write it as N2 upon N1 plus N2. Now from the law of dilution, when this solute is very very small, we can neglect it from the denominator. Okay, this is very very small in comparison to N1, so we can neglect it. In that case, our equation become equal to N2 upon N1 is nothing but equal to what? P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught. Okay, now in terms of molar mass, if we put this N2 is nothing but equal to what? Given mass upon molar mass. And this N1 will be nothing but what? Given mass upon its molar mass. Okay, so if we put the value in this equation, we'll get P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught is equal to W2 upon M2 into. Now see, this is on the lower side, this is W1 upon M1, so M1 will go up, so I can write M1 upon W1. This is the equation which we will use for the calculation of the molar mass of the solute with the help of relative lowering pressure, or we can also calculate the value of pure vapor pressure or the partial vapor pressure when the solute is dissolved in it. This equation we use for the numerical. Now remember children, in whole of this chapter, this W2, 2 is always solute. Mass of the solute. M2 is the molar mass of solute. Okay, this molar mass unit is always in gram per mole. Okay, and this W2 is always in which unit? Gram. M1 is for the M1 value is for the molar mass of solvent, which is also equal to unit is gram per mole, and W1 is equal to the given mass of the solvent, which is in gram. Okay, and this P1 naught and P1 is the partial pressure in the pure state, and this is when the solute is dissolved in it. The unit will consider in bar. Hope the derivation and it is clear to you, the formula for the numerical. This is the first property which we called as relative lowering in the vapor pressure, and this particular equation is called the relative lowering in the vapor pressure, which is nothing but equal to what? The moles of the solute, mole fraction of the solute. Now if we do the numerical, the first numerical which we will do is, the first numerical on this topic is, I am writing the question also. A solution is prepared by dissolving. A solution is prepared by dissolving 10 gram of non-volatile solute, in 200 gram of water. It has a vapor pressure of 31.84 mmHg at 308 Kelvin. Okay. Calculate the molar mass of solute. Calculate the molar mass of solute vapor pressure of pure water at 308 Kelvin is nothing but 32 mmHg. Okay, so this is the question which is given to us. Now see, in this question 10 gram of non-volatile solute. Non-volatile means it is not undergoing any association or dissociation. In 200 gram of water, our solvent is water whose mass is 200. So if I write in the form of the equation, this W2 is given as 10 gram. W1 is given as 200 gram. Then see, it has a vapor pressure of 31.84 mmHg. Okay children, now see, in this question this vapor pressure is when the non-volatile solute is added, means it is nothing but what? P1 in the question. This is 31.34, it is better, 31.34 mmHg. Now see, in the question you have to calculate the molar mass of the solute, means M2 you have to find out in the question. The vapor pressure of pure water means what? P1 naught. So it is nothing but equal to what? 32 mmHg. Now we'll write our equation. P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught is equal to W2 upon M2 into M1 upon W1. Okay. This is equal to, what value I'll put here? P1 naught is what? 32 minus 31.34 upon 31.34 is equal to W2 is what? 10. Then M2 we have to calculate. So M2 into what is W1? It is 200, and what is given to us is M1. Now see, this M1 is what? Molar mass of the solvent. And what is our solvent, beta? It is water. So water molar mass is nothing but what? It is 18. This M1 I'll put here. It is 18 M1, and W1 is given to me in the question as 200. Hope the putting of the value is clear to you. This value P1 not 32. Then P1 is your 31.34. W2 is given to us in the molar mass of the mass of the solute as 10. M2 we have to calculate. M1 is the molar mass of the solvent, which is given, not given in the question, but it is said that it is water. So molar mass of the water is nothing but what? It is 18 gram per mole. So put the value here, and what is your W1? In the question it is given as 200. If you calculate the value, the M2 is calculated as 180, and the unit is what? Gram per mole. This is the answer of this numerical. Now we'll do the one more numerical on this topic. This is your NCERT question number, which is 2.18. Okay. In this question, calculate the mass of non-volatile solute. Calculate the mass of non-volatile solute whose molar mass is given as 40 gram per mole, which should be dissolved in 114 gram octane to reduce its vapor pressure to 80%. This is given in the question. Okay. Now you have to calculate the mass of the non-volatile solute. Okay. mass of the non-volatile solute means W2 you have to calculate in the question. Now molar mass is given to, that is molar mass of solute, so it is what? M2, which is given as 40 gram per mole. Now which is dissolved in 114 gram of octane. Octane is our solvent whose mass is given as 114, means W1 is given as 114 gram. To reduce its vapor pressure to 80%. Now this point you remember, children, to reduce its vapor pressure to 80%. If I say the initial amount P1 naught, if I say it is 100, it is reduced to what? 80 gram. I can say this way because it is given in the question as 80%. So if I take in this question P1 naught as 100, so my P1 will become equal to what? 80. Okay. Now if we write the formula, P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 naught is equal to W2 upon M2 into M1 upon W1. Now in the question, this octane is given to us, its M1 is not given, but we know that octane is what? It is an alkane. Octane is C8. Now H is 18. You know the formula of alkane, CnH2n plus 2. So what is N here? 8. So C8H2 into 8 plus 2, which is nothing but equal to what? C8H18. Okay. If you calculate the molar mass, the carbon atom molar mass is 12 into 8 plus hydrogen mass is A1, so 1 into 18. This is nothing but again equal to what? 114 gram per mole. Now put the value, M1 is also with us now, which is 114 gram per mole. So putting the value, P1 naught is what? 100 minus 80 upon 100 is equal to W2 you have to calculate in the question. M2 is 40 into W1 is again 114 and mass is given as 114. So this will cancel out. Put 20 upon 100 is equal to W2 upon 40. Take this 40 this side, so it will become equal to 800 upon 100 is nothing but equal to what? W2. So W2 is equal to 8 gram. Okay. So this is the questions which are generally asked on the relative lowering of vapor pressure. I am giving you for the homework question number 2.15 NCERT book exercise question, 2.17 question number and 2.19 question number. Okay, so these three questions you try to solve it out. If you find any problem, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, thank you children.